Hey friends, it is Miss Liz, one of your librarians here at the Half Hollow Hills Community Library, and today I have a touchdown of a program for you. We are going to be making some Super Bowl snack hacks, sure to score at any party you may be going to celebrate the big game. I will be showing you some tips and tricks for how to make Tater Tot Skewers, French bread pizza, and football-themed cupcakes, perfect for any sports fan and any party crowd that you may have around you. These are great to share with friends, families, and all of those in between. So if you're ready to get started, the recipe for all of these can be found on the events calendar if you go to hhhlibrary.org and find the Super Bowl snack hacks posted on Sunday, February 6th. And this video will go over some of the basics that you need in order to cook your ingredients in case you wanted to see a step-by-step. So if you are ready to start cooking, make sure you have a nice clean workspace, and we are going to get started. So our first recipe today is going to be Tater Tot Skewers. To make these at home, what you're going to need are a bag of tater tots. The brand is totally up to you. Pick your favorite. You're also going to want to grab some shredded cheddar cheese. Now this can be the cheese that comes pre-shredded in a bag, or if you prefer some fresh cheese, you can shred your own using a grater and a block of cheese at home. Again, it's whatever your taste buds want. You're also going to need to chop up some green onions. These can be found in the produce section of your local grocery store. And you're just going to chop them up into these small tiny circles just like this, so you have enough. You don't need a whole bunch. You're also going to need some bacon. It could be cooked bacon that you then chop up into little bits and pieces. If you prefer fresh bacon, you just cook it as per the directions on your package. Or you can find a cheat sheet and you can use some bacon bits that you can find in your local grocery store. And then lastly, you're going to need some sour cream. Once you have all these ingredients assembled, you are ready to start making your tater tots. So the first step in making your tater tots is to bake them as per the directions on the back of the package. Most of them have to go in the oven for 350, but sometimes they vary depending on the brand that you buy. So take a look at that and just make them as the back says. Once they come out of the oven, you are then going to let them cool just enough so that they don't burn your fingers when you touch them. And then you're going to load your skewer sticks with your tater tots. So you can put as many or as little tater tots as you want per skewer stick. It depends on how big of a crowd you're serving, but feel free to make them look how you want. The more tater tots, the better, or the less tater tots, the better. It's totally up to you. Once all of the tater tots are on the skewer, you can now start decorating them with the other ingredients that we have. So you're going to start by sprinkling some shredded cheddar cheese on them. You're going to put on your bacon bits and your chopped onions. Then you are going to lay your skewer sticks on a parchment-lined baking sheet, and you're going to stick them in the oven for about 5 to 8 minutes, or until you see the cheese start to melt. That's when you can take them out, let them cool a bit, and then serve these warm to your guests with a side of sour cream. Our next recipe we're going to talk about is how to make your own French bread pizza at home. For this recipe, what you're going to need is a loaf of French bread. If you can't find that, you can also use Italian bread or ciabatta bread, just something that's hearty and healthy. You're also going to want to get some pizza sauce. This can be a jar or homemade, whatever you prefer, doesn't matter. You're also going to need some shredded mozzarella cheese. So kind of like our cheddar cheese from the tater tots, you can use stuff that's pre-shredded in a bag, or you can shred your own with a fresh block of cheese, whatever you prefer. You're also going to want to gather whatever pizza toppings you love. So this can be stuff like pepperoni, olives, mushrooms, peppers, tomatoes, you name it, you can use it. You're also going to want to get some softened butter. So this can be butter that was left out at room temperature. And you're going to want to grab some garlic powder. Once you have all of these assembled, it's time to start making your French bread pizza. So the first step of doing this is you are going to preheat your oven to 425 degrees. And we're going to start off by grabbing our French bread and we're going to cut it in half evenly through the length to create 2 long portions of bread, just like this picture. And then you're also going to cut the halves in halves so that your bread kind of folds out so that it looks like this. Once you have that, you're going to put it on a you're going to put it on a baking sheet that's lined with tin foil, and we're going to mix some garlic butter together. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your softened butter, about 4 teaspoons of it, and you're going to mix it with a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder. Now, if you like stuff super garlicky, you can add more. If you like stuff less garlicky, you can add less. This recipe is more about flavor than it is about exact measurements, so kind of find what works for you and do what you love with that. And then once it's all mixed together, you're going to spread it on your halves of French bread, just like in this picture below, almost like you're making garlic bread. And you're going to stick it in the oven for about 4 to 5 minutes, just until it starts to get a little crispy, but it's not fully baked. Once that's done, you're going to take your bread out of the oven and start spreading your pizza sauce all over each piece. You're then going to take your mozzarella cheese and sprinkle it evenly on all of the halves of French bread and finish it off with your desired toppings. Again, go crazy, put as much or as little as you want. This is all about your French bread pizza and how you want it to look. When you're done, you're going to place it back in the oven and you're going to bake it until the cheese is fully melted. Depending on your oven, this could take 10 to 13 minutes, but definitely keep an eye on it. And if you like your French bread pizza super crispy, like I like mine super crispy, my baker's hint for this is to set it on broil during the last minute or so. But please, 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 please keep a close eye on it. This burns really fast. So definitely do this when you have time. And then after that's done, you take it out, let it cool, slice it into pieces, and serve it at your Super Bowl party. And our last Super Bowl snack hack of the day is how to make football-themed cupcakes. So for this recipe, you're going to need cupcake mix, a box of your favorite flavor. It can be vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, you name it, you can make it. And all of the things that are required on the back of your box to make those cupcakes. You're also going to need 2 cans of vanilla frosting. Again, brand, flavor is totally up to you, just as long as it's something that we can color green. You're going to want to get some oval-shaped candies, so things like chocolate-covered raisins or chocolate-covered almonds. Anything that's like kind of in this oblong oval shape will do. AKA think of a football shape. And then lastly, we're just going to need green food coloring for this recipe. So once you have all of these assembled, you are ready to start baking. The first step is we are going to prepare our cupcakes according to the directions on the back of the box. So again, this is pretty standard across the box mixes, but definitely take a look at what you need. Preheat the oven to what you say. Sometimes it's 350, sometimes it's 325, depending on your cupcake pans, all that kind of stuff. So follow those directions and bake the cupcakes as they require you to. Once you have it all mixed together, you can put your cupcake mix into your cupcake pans and put them in the oven as per the directions on the back of your box. Cook them for the allotted amount of time and then take them out when they're all done. Once they're all done, you're going to let them cool and set them to the side. This can take anywhere from 1 to 2 hours, but please don't try to frost them when they're hot. You will ruin your cupcakes. I promise you, I've done this more than enough times that I can tell you what will happen and the disaster it becomes. Once you are ready to start decorating your cupcake, we are going to start by turning some of the frosting that we bought green. So in order to do this, you're going to scoop out some of your vanilla frosting, about 1.5 cans of it, and mix it in a bowl with a few drops of green food coloring. Keep adding color until your frosting looks like the color of grass. I do recommend starting with 3 or 4 drops and building up to it. You can always add more green, but once you make it too green and it becomes neon, you can't take any green out, unfortunately. So definitely take your time and make it the color that you want it to be. Once you have the green frosting how you want it to be, you are going to start by spreading an even layer of green frosting onto each cupcake, but please make sure it's only a light layer. You're then going to take the remaining frosting and you're going to put it in a plastic bag. Push all of the frosting down into one corner of the bag and then cut off the tip to create your own piping bag. Now, if you have piping bags at home, by all means, feel free to use what you have. This is just a snack hack for how you can make your own if you don't have them handy. Then you're going to take those bags and you're going to pipe frosting onto the cupcake to create a grass-like texture. So you can make it spiky, you can make it long, really however you want your grass to look. Then you're going to take the remaining half of a vanilla frosting can and you're going to put it into another plastic bag. Once again, squeeze all of it on the bottom, cut off the corner, the tip of the corner using a pair of scissors, and you're going to use this white frosting to create the seams like a football onto your chocolate candy, just like in the picture. And you can also use the frosting to create the yard lines on your cupcake if you want to get them super detailed. You're going to place your candy on top of the cupcake as well to make it look like a football is sitting on the football field, and serve it once they are decorated and to your liking. Thank you all so much for joining me for today's Super Bowl snack hacks. I hope you learned some new tips and tricks. Sure to delight any crowd that you may be hanging out with during the big game, or if you're just looking for some snacks during halftime show. I know that's my favorite part, so I totally get that if that's when you're looking to snack the most. If you made any of these creations at home and you want to share it with us, we would love to see it here in the teen department. Please feel free to send us an email at teenservices@hhhlibrary.org and show off your goodies. On behalf of the Half Hollow Hills Library, I would just like to thank you all for hanging out with me this morning, and I hope you have a delicious day. Take care, and we'll see you soon. Bye!